How's it going? Thralls Metal here again. I'm Necrotic Nick, and I'm doing another collection update. Definitely do a lot of these, don't I? Alright, let's get to it. First we have Nocturnal Blood. Devastated Graves, The Morbid Celebration. This is a blackened death metal band. This came out on Hell's Headbangers, I think in 2016 or something. I can't remember exactly when this came out. Oh well. Pretty good stuff, like real gritty recording, very dense and underground sounding. They definitely embody in both genres very well. Some of the stuff kind of lacks a bit of a hook because they just kind of get caught in that moment of making everything as grim and evil as possible. But there's still some really good stuff in here. I really liked Ritual Lust. I thought was really good on here. Just jamming. It's a good album. I mean, if you love black and death metal, this is a pretty solid release. Definitely keeps with that grimy underground sound. Pretty solid listen. North, The Great Silence. Really be helpful if they put the title of it on here. This is a post-rock, post-metal band. It kind of wavers in between the two. Like, it has a lot of softer moments. There's a good amount of clean vocals to harsh vocals on this. When they're heavy, though, they're heavy as hell. Definitely a lot of like a big Neurosis vibe on this, as well as earlier Isis. Really good stuff. Really got into the sound of this. Like, it has a very full sound, like much what you expect from post-metal. Really good stuff. I mean, you know, it's not really a lot to say. I mean, it doesn't really stand apart from a lot of other post-metal releases, but it's well executed, and I dug it. So definitely check it out. I mean, if you're into post-metal and Neurosis and all that good shit, definitely check this out. It was a fun listen. The Machinist. In Morte, Confidimus. Confidimus? Sure. I believe it translates into Death We Trust. This is a deathcore band on prosthetic. As I said before in other collection updates, I'm not a huge deathcore fan anymore, but I picked this up on a whim, and it has moments that are pretty solid, like, you know, some good groovy parts that are fun. Female vocalist that does a pretty solid job across the board. But the music just isn't that interesting to me. It has moments where it really engages me, but, you know, a lot of just relying on a breakdown to carry the entire song versus just maybe one cool moment. Even occasionally some bits that feel like nu metal leftovers. But, I mean, I don't think they're a terrible band. It's just not what I'm into. Some pretty fucked up lyrics, though, from what I gather. I haven't gone through the lyric book, but I understood enough and was like, okay, this is some pretty nasty subject matter. Definitely feels very personal, too, on the singer's part. Check it out. I mean, you know, worst thing is you won't like it. That's what happened for me. It's not really my thing, but it might be yours. Big Business. The Beast You Are. This is pretty much half of the Melvins, or at least half of the Melvins at one point. Both of the guys that are at the helm of this band were in the Melvins, I think, around A Senile Animal and Nude with Boots, and even the Bright Screen Murder. It's very similar to the Melvins. It's kind of that heavy sludge metal, or sludge rock. Very reminiscent of Torch, too, in the sense that while it's heavy, it's also kind of poppy, too. Like, they really know how to, like, create some cool melodies. There's some interesting synth layering on some of the songs, too. If you're a fan of the Melvins or Torch, this is definitely right up your alley. Interesting song structure. Like, a lot of the drums feel like one big fill rather than just a straightforward rhythm, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of jazzy. I dig this album. It's a solid album. I like Big Business. I've been a fan of them for a while. I need to get more of their releases. And this one's pretty solid. I dig it. Wormwitch, Mortal Soil. I brought up their most recent album on a collection update that I picked up, and I really enjoyed it. That one had less of the Crust feel to it, because even on Encyclopedia Metalum, they're advertised as black metal and Crust punk kind of thrown together. And this one you definitely feel more of that. It's definitely a little bit more raw and less polished than the newest album, which is really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this one too. It's definitely a bit rougher, but it has still a lot of the cool black metal melodies you hear in there. You don't hear as much as, like, I heard a lot of melodic death in the most recent one. You don't hear as much of that on here, but the really straightforward kind of punkier songs are a lot of fun on here. Like, there's even like a little bit of like Venom worship on this, which I really dug. This is a fucking awesome release. I definitely dig this band, and I'm definitely gonna be looking for more shit by them. Master, God of Thunder. This is a CD DVD. This has a live set from Master, which is really fucking awesome. I'd love to see these guys live sometime. Even starts off with their named song Master, which is pretty funny because when he comes in, it's like, "Hi, we're Master," very politely, and then right into this super heavy old school death metal with tons of fucking thrash influence across it. Like, if you love Death's first two albums and Autopsy and Possess, like, this is right up your alley if you've never heard of Master. They're a super fucking solid band. I believe they're originally from Chicago, but I think they live in the Czech Republic now, I think. I haven't checked out the DVD yet, but the album's great. I mean, I'm usually not big on live albums, and I kind of just picked this up on a whim, and it's a good listen. Check it out. Alright, might as well hold up both of these at the same time. After reviewing Inter Arma's newest album, I realized I didn't own enough Inter Arma, so I bought Sky Burial and Paradise Gallows. Both of these albums are fucking amazing. And it's pretty much the same thing, we said in the review. It is really hard to peg what these guys are, but there's something amazing. There's elements of sludge and post-metal, black metal, death metal, doom metal, and it all works in this one huge sound. Like, this album in particular, I fucking adore. Like, right from the get-go, it just stomps the shit out of you. And same here too. I mean, these are both excellent albums. I feel like I should have been getting into these guys a longer time ago. The only thing I had by them before this was the Cavern EP, which EP is very misleading because it is one 45-minute track. That's an album by most, stretches in terms of, time. That is a difficult listen, and not necessarily something I would put on, like, my phone to jam, and just listen to, because it is quite the journey. It's an excellent piece, but it's too much. This is at least broken down into songs that are shorter by, a little bit. Most of these songs will track, like, close to 10 minutes, but God, they're excellent. This is such an amazing band. I really want to see these guys live. And, well, we got another two-piece here. Stopped in No Noise and found some Beast in the Field albums I was missing. Beast in the Field was an instrumental stoner doom band. Here, hold on. You got this little slip cover here. This one, Lucifer, Bearer of Light. The songs are interesting, but the problem is some of the songs are just long periods of feedback that just kind of drive me nuts. Like, oh my God, there should be something more here. Like, if you were looking for something to track a horror movie, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in here that would definitely work for that. And when they actually get around to, like, the nice stoner doom songs, like, that really are put together with the beat and everything, they're awesome. They're great. But, when they're just doing the feedback thing, it gets annoying. Like, I don't get into stuff like Sun-O. That's just me. But not too bad. This one, a little bit rougher. And by a little bit, I probably mean a lot. Recording on this one was super, super muddy. But you get what they were going for. Like, it has that kind of sleep worship sound on it. Heavy as balls, but, like, you're kind of lost in the mud here. Like, the drums sound alright, but, like, you can't distinguish much else. Like, there's this one gnarly tone that, I don't know, you kind of struggle to make out riffs. At least I did on my speakers. Maybe I just need to listen on a better system. But this one was only alright. But this comes close to completing my collection for Beast in the Field. This is a super underground band that came from just north of me, somewhere in Michigan, and they've been broken up for a while, so finding their releases has been a bit of a chore, but I finally got some more of them, so that was awesome. And then finally, a Master Studio album. This one is An Epiphany of Hate. This one came out in 2016. Pretty solid release from. It's pretty much kind of a standard fare if you're used to listening to Master. Very much kind of a gritty, old school death metal with light touches of thrash throughout. Sometimes I kind of miss it on some songs here, but for the most part, this is a solid fucking listen. It's just good. It's high paced, high energy. You know, pretty dense, ugly guitar tone. I dug it. I thought it was pretty good. I definitely have heard better from them, but you know, I'm still trying to collect the whole back catalog, and that's coming soon. You know, I got a couple more coming in the mail, but this one, pretty solid listen. I dig it. All right, well, that does it for another collection update. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and maybe subscribe if you haven't checked that out yet. You know, we do all sorts of fun videos on this channel, and we got plenty more to come. Thank you for watching.